understanding.
As we're taking a look at some of the topics that were discussed at the recent school board candidate forum, I think some of the things that were said definitely need to be corrected. And it would not be fair in our role as staff, administrators, or in my job as a superintendent who is tasked with protecting the school division as well as keeping staff and students safe and instructing them to remain quiet on lots of misinformation that occurred. And one of the things that we always take a look at, and I think a couple of our speakers actually addressed it today, is about candidates speaking about partnering with the school administration, the teachers, students, and staff. To me, that's what it's always about. I think all people that run for office, anyone that decides to partner with the school division, it should really be about how can you have a positive impact on the school division. Unfortunately, there was a lot of incorrect data that was shared. One of them was about students and families leaving SPS and going to homeschool or private school. Here is the data. In 2018-2019, based on our September 30th counts, Suffolk Public Schools had 14,265 students. In 1920, they had 14,322. During 2021, the COVID year, we did drop to 13,869, and we can understand why several of our families decided to keep their students at home. But in 21-22, we actually began to jump back up to 14,048, and then a huge jump the following year in 22-23 to 14,490. Last year on September 30th for the 23-24 school year, we had 14,520. And as of our 10-day count, this week, we had 14,532. So if we are graduating nearly 1,000 students per year, how is it that our numbers are dropping and individuals are going to private school and homeschool? It's a part of the false narrative that some individuals unfortunately try to put out there to show that the school division is not being successful. I actually had a long conversation with a parent this week who actually was looking for assistance with a waiver situation. And due to current capacity issues, this parent has worked with Dr. Bird, Dr. Brown, because waivers are always looked at on a case-by-case basis, year-by-year basis, looking at the total enrollment in the school as well as grade levels. And unfortunately, this situation, a waiver was granted for one student because there was space in that grade, but not for the second student. And we all, of course, empathize with working with the parent because that made a severe challenge for the parent when it comes to child care, and we wanted to try to resolve the situation. However, the parent was pretty upset when I first had the conversation with her and informed me that she had actually spoken with two of our board members about her concerns. And instead of relaying the information to the school administration, the parent is alleging that the board members suggested that she enroll her kids in private school. So what happens is that this board members did not know that this parent is actually a proud graduate of Lakeland High School, that her mother was a 34-year teacher of SPS, and so she loves SPS. And she was extremely offended that that suggestion was allegedly made. And so a lot of times, as we kind of saw at the beginning of this conversation, there seems to be a concern about what is going to be said. Instead of asking the question, why does it even have to be addressed? We also, unfortunately, had an inaccurate cell phone policy that was read, and Mr. Waller and I spent several days trying to figure out where that came from. As the school board knows, the school board actually had a good work session today discussing Executive Order 33, and Mr. Waller clarified the cell phone policy. For years now, we've heard the mentioning of a forensic audit. It actually happened again tonight. And to be clear, a forensic audit is used to uncover criminal behavior such as fraud or embezzlement or any type of unethical financial practices. See, anytime a forensic audit is being requested, this insults 21 bookkeepers, 21 principals, the entire budget and finance department, our chief financial officer who is a certified public accountant. This is defamation of character and slander because you're accusing someone of criminal activity. I gotta take the time to apologize to Ms. Forsman that you still continue to have to go through this, because we've had perfect audits in this school division for 11 years. 11 years. And the fact that this continues to come up is harassment. It's harassment. Now, for those of folks that want to do their own research, please compare the total number of comments that we've had over that 11-year time period to other localities, including our local government. See, when the forensic audit conversation came up last year, I applaud the work of Mr. Riddick and Ms. Howell. On February 2023, at a special school board meeting, both the chair and vice chair at the time supported the finance department and referred to the finance committee meeting that took place on January 24th, 2023. They specifically discussed the purchase cards, where Mr. Melendez, the auditor, found no issues. Mr. Riddick specifically asked about fraud or anything concerning that would lead to further investigation. And the auditor clearly said no. So why is it being discussed as a topic at a forum? Again, this is defamation of character, slander, and harassment. Unfortunately, it was also mentioned of an incident that allegedly took place at one of our schools several years ago, one of our elementary schools, and one of the individuals specifically discussed one of our principals. This is the same principal that led Northern Shores to blue ribbon status and is doing an excellent job at Lakeland High School. See, when is a topic going to occur when we can focus on partnership, collaboration, and ways to improve the school division instead of trying to tear people down? How many more years does this have to occur? It's literally been going on November 2019. That's the first time I actually experienced it. And then the questions then become, as the topics continued, where there were other insults towards our staff. We have sitting with us our Chief of Administrative Services, Dr. Rodney Brown, who is the president of the Virginia Association of School Personnel Administrators. The Region 2 Instructional Leads for All Teaching and Learning and Chief Academic Officer is Dr. Akima Branch, our Chief Academic Officer. And last year, the Region 2 leader of the school leadership professional learning community was our Chief of Schools, Dr. Stanette Bird III. See, why is it that we seem to get more respect outside of the school division than some of the individuals inside? I mean, the challenge is that from two of our speakers that spoke tonight, one of the key words there was respect. And the disrespect has to stop. It has to stop. You know, I always talk about, and I do this every October, right? What I always say, please support the candidates that support public schools. And I always talk about how I know, because I was coached very well when I decided to make this journey, that I know that I'm always going to be a target because of the role. You know, a lot of it comes with the territory. But being a target and saying these things, there's a difference when you're disrespectful, or as in tonight, an attempt to break the law. So one of the things that we want to be able to work forward, because that's what we're trying to do. No one will ever do anything to support the school division if you're talking about it. That's not the way it works. It has to be a true partnership and collaboration. And when we are having topics like that that are being discussed, the school community sees right through it, because all they're looking for is people that not only want to be able to represent themselves if they do win elections, but they're also looking for someone that actually cares about the school division, the staff, and the students. I can't stay silent about that type of stuff, because silence is compliance. It's compliance. And when you're talking about members of our team that are some of the best at what they do, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Certified public accountant, perfect audits. People need to be careful what they say, because there is legality involved with that. For the calendar of special events, Madam Chair, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It's also Hispanic